Let me now demonstrate scripts for masking your display objects. You can use a display object as a mask to create a hole through which the content of another display object is visible. Here I have a mask that corresponds to this circle. It's invisible here on the original stage. I have a picture behind it, and I'm creating a mask with ActionScript that then punches a hole through the circle, showing the picture underneath it, and the rest of the picture is masked. That's why this effect is called masking. Let's go ahead and look at the script here. To indicate that a display object will be the mask for another display object, set the mask object as the mask property of the display object to be masked. I do that with this here. The mask will be the my shape here. It's going to be masking this movie clip, the palm tree movie clip, which is this photo. I'm creating a new shape. It's going to be a graphic shape here, begin fill with this color right there. And then I'm going to draw a circle with these dimensions right there. And I'm going to basically make that invisible by creating a mask or converting it into a mask with this line right here. Now the mask display object, in this case the picture, is revealed under all the opaque or non-transparent areas of the display object. In this case the entire object is opaque. Here's another example. If you open up the masking 2 file, it's blank, but in this file I'm going to be creating a shape instance. Let's move this up here, open this up a little bit. So I'll be drawing a red square and adding it to the display list. This will be a 100 by 100 pixel square, and a sprite instance containing a blue circle with a radius of 25 pixels. If we go ahead and have a look at this movie, there is the red square and the blue circle created by those 2 paragraphs of text using the graphics method. Line style, begin, fill, draw, rectangle. So there's the rectangle command. Here is the draw circle command with all of its parameters, the colors. Notice that I'm adding the child square to the stage with this last line right here. Now in this case, when the blue circle is clicked, it's set as the mask for the square so that only part of the square that shows through the circle will show through. If I go ahead and click on the blue circle, you'll see that the square underneath it, notice the square underneath it is red, so I get a red circle popping on top there. Let's have a look at the code that created that effect down here. I'm running a function when the mouse event is detected on that circle. Here I'm creating the circle as a mask, and the masked object is the square right there. Here's my event listener. Circle, when the circle button is clicked right here, it's going to run the mask square function, this one here. And that last line here will remove the circle as part of this function, the mask square function. Now the display object that is acting as a mask can be draggable, animated, resized dynamically. It can use separate shapes within a single mask. The mask's display object doesn't necessarily have to be added to the display list. However, if you want the mask object to scale when the stage is scaled, or if you want to enable user interaction with the mask, such as a user-controlled dragging and resizing, then the mask object must be added to the display list. In this example, I added both the shapes to the display list using the addChild method. Now the actual Z index, this is the front to back order of the display objects, really doesn't matter as long as the mask object is added to the display list. Notice that the mask object does not appear on the screen except as a mask. Now you'll notice that when I do the control test movie again, that the mask object does not appear on the screen once it's been set up as a mask. In other words, right now this blue circle isn't the mask, but as soon as I click on it, it becomes the mask, and so it disappears. Now if this mask object is a movie clip instance with multiple frames, it will play all the frames in its timeline, the same as it would if it were not serving as a mask. You can remove a mask by setting the mask property to null, as this code will do right here, mysprite.mask equals null. If we put this script to work here in our first masking example, let's change the mysprite to myshape, since that's the name of the mask that I've set up here in line 5. And if we execute the code, notice the mask is no longer working, and we can now see the blue circle placed on top of the photo. Other details I should cover is you cannot use a mask to mask another mask. You cannot set the alpha property of a masked display object, and only fills are used in a display object that is used as a mask. Strokes will be ignored. You can also use a display object to mask text that is set in a device font. When you use a display object to mask text set in a device font, the rectangular bounding box of the mask is used as the masking shape. That is, if you create a non-rectangular display object mask for device font text, the mask that appears in the SWF file will be the shape of the rectangular bounding box of the mask, not the shape of the mask itself. Let's now move on to the next movie so I can demonstrate scripts for replacing your mouse pointer with a graphic of your own to, in essence, create a custom mouse pointer.